everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. It's Carrie from Next Time Craft Studio. July and summer are in full swing here, and I hope, like my garden, yours is just filled with blooms. So that's the theme today, and we're gonna make 5 different thrift flips, including this little guy.
Do you have an old gravy boat sitting around, not getting used? Well, this is something you can do with it. I got this vintage English one at Value Village for about $5. I glued down and packed it tight with some dry green floral foam, and then I started slowly putting in my greenery and flower pieces. You could do the same thing with an old teapot or an old vase, and what's great is that you don't have to water it. I can't remember where I got this super cute fox from, but he needs a bloom do-over. I'm going to be using Folkart Home Decor chalk paint in the oatmeal color. Loving the orange of these Nasturtium flower rub-on transfers, so I'm going to be using this for the fox. I just love how easy these rub-on transfers are. If you want me to make these available in my Shopify store, let me know in the comments. Using a clear coat chalk paint protector from Rust-Oleum. Well, what do you think? Pretty cute, huh? I think I'm gonna add a little bit of steel wire coiled on the top so that it can be a picture holder. This Italian terracotta planter with a grape motif is really nice, but they had put duct tape on the bottom and it was really difficult to get off, so here's me scraping to remove it. With all that removed, we're going to use the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white. After 2 good coats, we are going to be using the Decor Vintage Effect paint in the gray. So with a sponge brush, I'm going to lightly do some very light strokes across the whole piece, and especially in the raised areas, because I really want to try to create a little bit of contrast, and I find just white a little bit boring, so that's why I chose the gray over top. Because I'm using this outdoors, I used a Rust-Oleum clear coat for outside so that it can stand up to the elements. I dug up a nice blooming outdoor succulent that I had in my garden because a lot of the other plants that I had chosen before didn't quite fit, so this works better anyway. I really like how this turned out. I could have just left it in the terracotta, but I really wanted to do something with it, and I think this was just the thing. Milk glass is really popular right now, and I just wanted to use this one as it was, but just add a little something to the top. So I took a piece of linen ribbon that I had cut off some cloth that I had, and I found an old, really cool skeleton key in my stash as well that I figured would be perfect to give this a kind of older, antique look. So sticking with the white theme, I went out into the garden and I picked some white flowers and leaves and then arranged them nicely. And here you can see my supervisor came in. Kanika came to inspect my work to make sure it was the best quality. Simple and lovely. This is all it takes to add a little charm to a space. I'm really excited to share this one with you. This one is my more involved piece thus far, that's for sure, in my videos. This is just a plain piece of wood that I thrifted for a few dollars, and I'm going to be painting it with the home decor Folkart in Turkish tile. Two full coats of paint on here to make sure it had full coverage. I'm trying out the Elmer's glue crackle paint technique for the first time, so we'll see how this works out. Once the glue is applied in a thick layer, I'm going to be putting white over top. And once the glue dries, it's supposed to kind of recede and create that crackling technique. Now here, I didn't really do enough paint or long enough strokes on it, but this was my first time. And it did work out, it just didn't crackle quite as much as I wanted it to. I'm going to give it a good sanding with 150 grit sandpaper to give it a weathered look. Well, it's time for some more rub-on transfers. These are some of my favorite ways to uplift a piece and add an image to it without having to paint or stencil or anything. These ones are a eucalyptus, which is really pretty on top of the blue. Once everything is applied, I'm going to seal this with the Rust-Oleum Chalked Matte Clear. For the hardware, I've adapted these pipe clamps to fit the test tubes, so I just shaped it around so that it would fit it in there better, and I also glued in some faux leather strips that also help to hold onto the test tube so it doesn't slide through. Because these test tubes don't have the little lip on the top to help put it in the setting, I really wanted to make sure it was secure and didn't fall through, so I added some of this nice gray cotton cord around the top and sealed the ends with some sticky dots and some clear Elmer's glue. I added 2 silver hangers to the top on the back, and voila! What do you think? I love it. It's great for adding a little bit of fresh flowers. As usual, here's a little sneak peek for my next video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.